Warriors, you know how you have one of them things that make you say, well, that's where I'm at today. I want to talk for a minute about prophets. Now, if I leave out of the church one more time and somebody stop me in the parking lot and say, God told me to tell you, I'm going to have to tell them what God told me to tell them. Because, first of all, God does things decent and in order. So if I just left out of another man's house, and God didn't tell the angel of the house to say anything to me. You were sitting in the building with me, and God didn't tell the angel of the house, somebody has a word for me in this house. Don't stop me. Because I believe in order. I believe that if God sends me a prophecy, it's not going to be in another man's parking lot after we just came out of the building. I don't think that's order. I don't. I think that God is God. And I think if you're a prophet and we just were sitting in the same church for 3 hours. Matter of fact, he was sitting on my pew. And nobody in the church got a revelation from God, because God is a God of order, that somebody in this building, God has given a word. I don't know who you are, but stand. I mean, of course, more people going to stand than the person that he gave the word to, but hey, that's neither here nor there. You know how we do church. But let's start being a little serious about the things of God, if you of God. Because it seems like people are taking things so casually when it comes to God now. So casually. And the last time I went to the book, God is not casual. Means what he says. Means what he said. I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, it's just me. Some of them things that makes you go, Stop stopping people in the parking lot. Stop doing it. Before you even got ran over. I'm just playing. Now listen, let's go to the book. What does the Bible say about the prophet? First of all, if you're a prophet of God, you speak for God. You speak what he tells you to speak. You can't be out here prophesying. You can't be out here prophesying, telling people stuff they want to hear, just so, I don't know, maybe they'll, plant a seed, a bigger seed, or extra seed, I don't know. But I think with everything that's going on in the world today, I think prophets got a bigger job than to tell me if I spin around, I'm going to get a Rolls Royce. No. The prophet is supposed to speak for God. It's so serious. Sometimes I believe we don't even believe that God is really real sometimes. Because it seems like he would be so much reverence for who you proclaiming that you serve and speak for, that you would be like afraid, right? To be saying stuff that you know is not true, and God did not tell you that. Stop. A prophet is supposed to speak for God. I really can't see God just running around here using the power to tell you that you're going to get a Rolls Royce. I just can't see it. And then why would God speak a Rolls Royce to you, and you know we don't even have Chevrolet upkeep. I mean, not saying that you can't have a Rolls Royce. You know what? Please don't take this wrong, because people are always sending me comments. And I always preface it everything by saying, this is just my take. You don't have to agree with me. It's my take. It's my camera. It's my take. So, a spokesperson for God, chosen to communicate God's word. All this other stuff, I'm not clear. I'm just not clear. I'm not clear on why I would have to stand in a line for a prophecy. I'm not. I'm not clear on why I would have to call somebody and call in for a prophecy. I'm just not clear about that. Now, if you have a comment that could help, because that's another job of the prophet, to edify, to enhance. So if you have something that would, speak to me in my mind and help me, I'll take that comment, because I'm just not clear on the things that we're doing now. I'm just not clear. And if I'm not clear, I know the people not clear. Stop confusing the people. Stop confusing the people. I think people would pass by Jesus. I'll be back, Jesus, the prophet. I got to see what he's saying. I'm just saying. My take. Just one of those things that after the last person stopped me in the parking lot made me go, So, signs of a true prophet. Faithfulness to God. Never speaking anything but what would turn you towards God. And speaking to you in a different way so that you know what'll happen if you turn away from God. Why the prophets not speaking to the corruption and the evil of these times? If you get a word from God and you his man or woman, can you tell us something that we can use? Tell us something we can use, because I can't use a Rolls Royce. Because all I would do was sell it and go feed the people. So tell me something I can use. Tell me something I can use. Prophesy something to me that's going to edify, comfort, strengthen, build me up. You don't have to prophesy me about a check in the box. You don't have to do it. I don't need you to do that. Don't worry about it. Say that with somebody who needs that. Because when people are in desperate situations, they'll believe anything. And shame on those who take advantage of desperate people in desperate times. Why would you need somebody to give you $1,000 for a prophecy when they can't even pay their own bills? God told you to tell them to give you $1,000 for a prophecy. Now, I'm not saying that God don't say, because he told the widow woman. I'm not saying he don't say, give the man of God what you got. I'm not saying that. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying that. But as a whole universal business now, one of them things that make you say, I believe in giving. I believe in blessing the man or woman of God. The Bible says receive a prophet in the name of a prophet. I'm never going to disrespect anybody. But watch when you prophesy. Because here is another sign. God said that you're supposed to encourage, edify, correct, comfort. And God's saying to you, the people, the church, you can't blame somebody else when he got a whole book set up that you can read for yourself. If you read and you getting strong spiritually, you have his spirit inside of you. What is your spirit saying about what they're saying? Is it tested to see if it's coming from God? Tested to see if it aligns with what God says. And then, we don't have to disrespect anybody. If you receive it, receive it. If you don't, don't. I'm never going to disrespect. Never going to disrespect. Love God too much for that. Never going to disrespect. But I can have my take. I can have my take. No matter what they saying out here today. I can have my take. One of those things that make you say, just, that's it. One of those things that make you say, So, total accuracy. If you're speaking for God, God don't miss. Oh, God don't miss. So if you're speaking for God and you prophesy a thing and it don't come to pass, what is that saying? That God missed? God don't miss. If you've been getting some prophecies and that check wasn't in the Bible, and you spent around 3 times that Rolls Royce wasn't in your yard, God never misses. A prophet should be accurate. If he's speaking for God, he should have accuracy. Faithfulness to God. A true prophet never encourages you to do anything but turn back toward the Lord. But look, I'm gonna read you something. Because see, there's nothing new under the sun. All right? I'm gonna read you something. Let me see. I saved this somewhere. Let's see where I saved it at. Because there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. So the people will say, give us no more visions of what's right and what God's saying. Tell us pleasant things. Spin around, get a Rolls Royce, check in the box. God gonna drop that job on you. You ain't gotta fill the application in. This was in Isaiah. Nothing new under the sun. They say, tell us pleasant things. Prophesy illusions. Huh? So, either somebody's scared to tell the truth, scared to say what God is really saying, or you just saying what you want to say. Because, first of all, there is no way in the world that we got all these prophets. And I don't want to get started on all these apostles. I'm not even going to get started on, oh my goodness. Every time you look, I mean, it's crazy. Who is giving this out to people? Like, if you are a prophet of the Lord, you're not supposed to miss. God don't miss accuracy in your prophecies. If your prophecies are not coming to pass, I'll wait. If all you're doing is prophesying to people in lines, $100 lines, $500 lines, $1,000 lines, if all you're doing is prophesying to people in lines, what about the people who don't have no money? They don't get no prophecy. Y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop. Now, there's some real men and women of God out there who spend time with him, who listen to him, who hear from him, and when they speak, they speaking what God told them to say. I believe that. But I also believe And if you got an issue with this, go to the book. Go to the book. There are false prophets. Stop playing with people. Stop playing with people. But the people or the church, the book is for you. Go to the book. Get your own clarity and insight. Then when you get that corporate word from your man or woman of God, or when you get that prophecy from a real, true prophet, your spirit will immediately say that's from God, because that's confirmation. That falls in line with what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing. God has already spoken everything. It's finished. So, I don't know about future stuff. But what I do know is that if you're speaking for God, he's accurate. He never misses. And if you're a true prophet of the Lord, you should be able to discern who in the building don't have $1,000. So form $1,000 line on the $1,000 people side, and form a dollar line on the side of the people who really need Jesus. What we doing, y'all? What we doing? Like, really, what we doing? If you go to your church today, I ain't talking about nobody's church. People always take me wrong. I'm not talking about nobody's church. This is just a universal example. But if you go to a church, let's say that. If you go to a church today and you stand up in front of the pews and you say, I want everybody who has several degrees and can now be called doctor, stand up. Whole church gonna stand up. Everybody got a title. Okay? Sit back down. Now I want everybody who was in the highways and the byways, lifting him up and telling people about Jesus, I want y'all to stand up. 15 people may stand up. Okay? They sit down. Now I want everybody who's been feeding the hungry and clothing the naked and doing what God told you to do with your finances besides the $1,000 line when it comes to these communities and neighborhoods dying. Stop waiting on somebody to come and fix it. We need to do what we've always done. Now, two people standing up when you ask that question. I don't care. Give me. I don't care. I don't. I'm serious. I love everybody. I want everybody to love me, but it's just one of those things that made me say, and I had to share it. I love you, Warriors.